Hi everyone. I was wondering what to put up next, and I was watching a programme on the German TV yesterday. Nothing else on the British TVs except blooming sport, which I'm not the slightest bit interested in. Anyhow, I was watching their antique programme, Bears for Rares, and one of the items which they showed at the back, this was they have lots of interesting bits and pieces on show, not the ones they sell, but the ones that are used for the actual production of the programme, was one of these, even in ivory. So I thought, right, that is what I'm going to put up. So here goes. This is a very popular German telephone, W48. I believe the 48 refers to the year it was made, but correct me if I'm wrong. You've also got other numbers underneath. 62, so it looks like it was made in 62. You've got the trademark used by the post people in Germany, and also K for Krone. This instrument's manufactured by Krone. Let's turn him back, doing it gently, and everything goes flying. Once again, I've only got one pair of hands, which is in a way a blooming nuisance. It should have more hands. Mind you, if you had more hands, they'd give you more work to do, so probably it don't work. Anyhow, I've turned it upside down. I will show you the dial. Now this is a typical German dial. This is the same dial which was fitted to some of my other phones. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's a well-made dial. I know not everyone likes this type of dial, but I think it's quite a good one. I won't go through the ins and outs. I've already done this on previous talks. Suffice to say that this one needs it, well, it builds up speed before it actually sends out pulses. So if you dial 1, it'll send 2 pulses out, but only 1 goes out as a pulse, and the idea is to get the dial up to speed. As far as I know, this type of dial was invented by Siemens years and years ago. And you can see it's a nice white case. Also, I nearly missed this. Look what we found. A diagram. I know it's not a very large diagram. If I hold it on there, not on that one, if you want to take a copy of it or write anything down, I'll give you a couple of minutes. You can always stop the video and go to the other part of the diagram. Move that one out the way. So there's the diagram. The phone itself is very, I suppose, basic in a way. You haven't got any extra components that you don't really need. You've just got your main components, your capacitor, which is the old style. It's got the old DIN number, which is an international standard, I believe, used in Germany. And that's got a date on there, 1161. Very large capacitor, but there again, they were large in those days. Just 2 connections, there's only 1 capacitor in there, 1 microphone, and that would be obviously used on the bell circuit. The bell itself is underneath here. I had to adjust it to make it ting on both gongs, but this is the way to do it. The gong, when you press it to operate the gong, the clapper goes over, tings on the bell and comes off. It doesn't rest on the bell. If it rests on the bell, you won't get that lovely clean ting. Now you adjust it by these middle screws, which are eccentric, is that the word? Or is that what I am? I don't know. Concentric, I think, is the word. It means that the holes are offset. So as you loosen those up and turn the gongs round, you either make the gong closer to the clapper or further away. And the same with the other bell. So that's your bell. That's the actual bell under there. Let me show it up a bit better. Well made again. The rest, as I say, is fairly standard. You've got your cradle contacts for here. Very simple, well made. And you do it and you see it changes over. Good clean contacts. The terminations at the back are clear. The normal spade type terminals. The line cord goes through a little clamp so you don't pull it out. I've got another one of these upstairs. I didn't realise at the time, but I picked the other one up, not that long ago. When I say not that long ago, probably a year or so ago. Not realise I had this model. It had unfortunately been tinkered about with. The layout inside of it is slightly different, where someone had altered the actual ringing. I think that what they tried to do was to wire it up more like the English type of ringing, so I had to put it back to what it should be. As I was looking at this, the inside did look totally different. It's the same model. It looked the same outside, but the inside was different, and that was a Krone as well. Anyhow, your induction coil is there. Standard type of induction coil. It's held on with two base screws. You can see them going into nice brass inserts. So yeah, well made. It is a well made phone. I suppose a classic phone. It's a wonder they're not dearer than they were. I know this was a sensible price. Your handset's fairly heavy. I won't take the inserts out, but they both come out, obviously. Standard German type handset. Once again, well made and fully functioning. And as you can see, the cord is a braided cord. It's not a twisty cord. It's a braided cord, which all phones were years ago. And this one has still got the straight cord, unbraided. And once again, nicely terminated on the little block. So yeah, I'm well pleased. Yeah, that's more or less all I can say about this. So we'll pop this one up. And any comments, please make. Oh, let's have a look at the front so I can show you the dial. It's a very, as I say, these dials I think are quite good. I know you've got a space between that and that. Don't let that confuse with the automatic dial. It just happens that this one does have a space as well. It's definitely not an automatic electric dial. So, you know, not, as I say, I normally say if there's a space, it's maybe automatic. But in this case of dial, it isn't. There's the markings on there. They're green, and the numbers in the dial itself are green. So it's unusual, I suppose. The case is in very good condition. There's not a mark on it. spotlessly clean. It hasn't faded or changed colour. A lot of people worry a lot about the way the phones change colour. I don't know why they do. As I said before, if you had an antique coin going back many years, 100 years, perhaps more, it becomes coated with years of people picking it up, sweat's dried on it, dirt's dried on it. It's called a patina. And the last thing you would do would be to get the can of Bluebell or Duraglit out and polish it. It's not done. A coin, you expect to see it in its normal state, which is used. It is patina, and also same, I presume, with metals. So why people worry with phones trying to get it exactly the same colour, it's beyond me. Mind you, I couldn't do it with all mine anyhow. I got too many. But it's just a thought. This one, I was to say, I was lucky. It's in very good nick, clean. It's a Bakelite case. It's all Bakelite. So obviously be careful. It will be brittle. The handset also is Bakelite. So all in all, quite a nice little telephone, and one I can recommend. It's easy to follow, easy to put right if it's put rightable, without any of the components going down. The bell's now adjusted with this one. So yeah, anyhow, thanks again. Any questions, please ask, and I'll try and get back to you. I know how to get onto the questions now without having to go through each one. I'm learning blinking computers the whole time, which comes to a point. I was trying to find out why. What happened? I found another person that is like a refuge for pussycats, and I thought, oh, I'll ring them up, but you can't do it. They make sure you don't have a phone number, and they make the emailing it so complicated. Well, I couldn't do it, and I'm afraid I left them a message saying, well, you know, if you can't help me, and I left them my number to them to ring me, and they couldn't have the bother to even ring me. So needless to say, I'm not very happy with that. I won't mention the names, obviously, but they're local to me, fairly local, and it was supposed to be a cat rescue. So why they make things so difficult, I don't know, but they do. All they've got to do is put a phone number down, and I can speak to someone. Phones, as we know, came out much before computers. And as I always said before, computers, in my opinion, are the most unfriendly devices going. They are just not friendly. So they lost my patronage. I might have even given them a little bit of money to help them on. I don't know how much they would charge for a pussycat. They do charge, which is understandable. But they lost out with me. Just makes me bloody annoyed. Excuse the French. Anyhow, I'm going to shut up now. I've had my little rant. So here goes. Thanks again. Thank you.